So, first problem is, what is the rate of acceleration for a 2,500 kilogram truck with a force of 4,200 newtons? So, we have three parts that we're always looking for. And the basic equation is F is equal to, and I'm going to use blue for force, red for mass, mass times acceleration. And I'll use purple for acceleration. So, we're always going to be looking for something a little bit different, so we might reorder this equation a couple different ways. We may divide force by mass to find acceleration, which we would just divide both sides by mass, and it would cancel out. And that's what we're going to use for this problem. There's another form, too, where you can divide force by acceleration. And that is going to be the same thing. I've reordered it, so now that solves for mass. So that does a lot of our groundwork already, because I can see any of these variables on their own. Now I want to use these same colors to identify it. What we're looking for is, it's asking us what is the rate of acceleration. And acceleration is always a rate, so this is kind of junk word. So you can kind of just say, what is the acceleration? And that's going to mean the exact same thing in that sentence. What is the acceleration of a 2,500 kilogram truck with a force of 4,200 newtons? So, nothing says this is the mass of the truck, but we know it's the mass because it is in kilograms. So the mass that we're going to plug in, and I'm circling it in our red for mass, is 2,500 kilograms with a force of 4,200 newtons. Now, it's telling us that it's the force, but we also know it's the force because it's been applied in newtons. So I'm going to circle that 4,200 newtons in blue. Okay? And we don't have any purple in the problem because that's not what we're looking for. But we want to find our form where this is by itself. So we have our force. We're going to plug in there in the blue section. And we know that force is 4,200 newtons. And it's important that you keep that unit. And that's going to be divided by the mass. And that's 2,500 kilograms. That's 2,500 kilograms. And that will solve for the acceleration. That will solve for the acceleration. Okay? So, you're probably going to have to bust out a calculator for this one. I know that I had to bust out a calculator for this one. But when I reduce this, this ends up being 1, and I'm going to do it, actually, since we're ending up with the acceleration, I'm going to do it in purple too. That ends up being 1.68 newtons divided by kilograms. And a newton divided by a kilogram is going to be meters per second squared, which is our rate of acceleration. And we've solved that problem. So now we know that a 2,500 kilogram truck that experiences 4,200 newtons is going to accelerate at 1.68 meters per second.